Okay, I am at Red Door Studio in Madison, Wisconsin on the east side. And this is Angela, who just had a birthday.
Yeah, that was great.
Angela, so I know you through Terry. You're a friend of Terry's. So you are a music teacher.
Correct.
And what do you teach?
So I mainly teach beginning to piano to kids and also cello when I do get the chance to have a cello student. And I enjoy teaching technique and sort of a fun approach to music. The best I can.
What ages do you teach?
My youngest was 3 years old.
Ooh.
So the age range has been 3 to adults so far.
Oh, okay. Three to.
Yeah.
And tell me your your personal music backstory, your history.
So growing up, I was homeschooled, so I got to spend a lot of time practicing piano and cello because my day was organized in an efficient manner for schooling and music. So there was enough time for me to put like a lot of hours into practicing. So my family lived in California first, and then Mexico, and then California, then Florida, then Wisconsin.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I had private teachers in all of those places, and got a really well-rounded sort of perspective on mostly classical, and then as I was growing up into adulthood, I did a lot of experimental jazz and sort of outside the classical world adventures into rock and pop and all kinds of music.
Have you been part of a band?
I've been in a few bands, yeah.
You here in Madison, or here in Madison, or
some in Madison. I've played in various groups that have played in different states, and
okay.
Folky.
And were you playing cello or piano in those?
Those were cello.
Those are cello. Okay.
Yeah. And with piano, I'd really like to learn more about improv, but I've mostly just done my improv with cello. So writing parts for bands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and tell me about teaching. How did you start? How long have you been teaching here in Madison?
Let's see. Probably I started teaching when I was about 28, and I'm 46 now.
Okay.
So, like, it was kind of cosmic because that's your Saturn return.
Oh, yep.
And I had tried a lot of different things for, like, art careers, trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I had such amazing teachers growing up that, and it might just be my personality, but I really enjoyed teaching when my friends said, well, hey, why don't you try teaching my kid? And my piano teacher at the time, Joe Simons, had a studio where she said you could, start teaching here. And so I just started with a couple students and used my knowledge from like the years and years and years of lessons.
Of your own, yeah.
And I took some music theory in the community college and had been kind of set up to do a professional music career going into college, but chose against it.
Oh. So. Do you want to share why that was, or?
It was a number of reasons. It was kind of a culmination of wanting to stay in Madison and having some unusual ways of learning myself. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't told I had learning disabilities, but I had an attention issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to figure out my own way of
Mm.
learning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So college wasn't the best fit for me. So I kind of explored different ways to learn.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
So when I have a student, I try to figure out
Sure. Yeah.
are they learning with more visual, audio, or kinesthetic? And then try to approach whatever they're doing in a way that makes sense to them.
Well, and it's been really fun to watch you. So Willie, my nephew, takes piano lessons with you,
Yeah.
and I've been in here. I've been to a couple of performances, and but been here when he's been. And you're very. I love how you're just really patient with him and really attentive, and even when he's yawning and tired and hasn't practiced during the holidays, you were like, okay. What do you think, like, of your students who come in here? Are they coming in here because they just love the piano, or are they coming here because their parents want them to learn, or a little bit of both? And what will make a successful student? What are they showing up with where you're like, okay, this kid's going to continue on in piano?
Well, every kid has their own reasons, and they're all different.
Okay.
But I think when kids are really young, they want to try everything. So getting them to stick with something
Mm.
long enough to get the um, physical motor skills and knowledge uh, to really actually be able to perform a piece and get to the musical level of it where they're having fun performing is sometimes challenging because you want them to stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I think that there's a lot of everybody loves music automatically. If you have hearing, you probably love music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And rhythm, and
Mm-hmm.
even
Sure.
if you can't hear, you have rhythm. So it's all this amazing language, and um, I feel like it's my job to keep them interested in what they're doing, make it fun, so that they can get to the point where they have the technique so that they can soar. And some kids are automatically just great singers, or are really drawn to music more than other kids. Depends.
Mm.
A lot of times, parents want a child to have a well-rounded education
Mm-hmm.
and have music as part of that. But I think everybody loves it at some level.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of an individual basis, you know. And for me, I was really glad that I did have to practice, even though I didn't want to a lot of times, and that my parents had a reward system, which was a big key in making my little kid brain think that it was an important thing to do.
Mm.
So I find that bribery is very important and totally valid for getting through the difficult parts of learning something, whether it's a language or, reward system, I should
Mm-hmm.
say. I like
Mm-hmm.
saying bribery.
Well,
It's funny.
it's great. And
But yeah.
how, what, what's the longest you've taught a student? Like how many years in a row?
Oh my gosh. I'm so bad with time trying to understand things linearly,
Okay.
but
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 6 years,
Okay.
maybe, maybe 7.
Okay.
Yeah, through high school.
And is that like a weekly piano lessons, or is it just all varies?
Um, Generally weekly.
Wow, that's a lot of time to be spending
Yeah.
with a student. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You become like a family member.
Yeah, I just love the kids, and all my students.
What's the greatest joy you get out of what you do here? And what are some of the, maybe we can start with, maybe, are there any challenges that you feel in what you're doing?
Um, like I said, making sure that I'm doing a good job while making it fun.
Mm-hmm.
But to get like a good foundation technically, and so that it'll be something they can use later,
Mhm.
whether it's like learning another instrument, because piano is great for mapping out the scale and knowing like bass lines, treble lines, and learning how pieces are built,
Mhm.
or even playing with other people, because if you end up playing flute or violin, that is the treble line, and then you can understand how an orchestra works and enjoy the music on another level of comprehension, where you're just like able to see how it's put together and how genius it can be. So um, I feel like the challenge is keeping it fun, even and planting the seed that it is an important thing to like pay attention to and get while you're a kid, because you're able to learn things so much faster
Mhm.
as a child than
Mhm.
after
Yep. Sure.
you're
Yeah.
an adult. So
And when the kids come here, what are the challenges? What would be like a common hang up that a kid might have playing piano? Is there something that's kind of across the board a difficult thing for kids to learn, or is that like a really dumb question and every child's different?
no, it's not a bad question. It's a hang up sometimes is just not getting the sound they want right away, maybe, or like
Mm.
being it takes work.
So being
It
impatient with
takes
themselves.
work.
Yeah.
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 You have to be patient, and so I try to teach how to practice. So teach how to break a problem down into smaller pieces so that they can work on something that's not overwhelming at a time, and then put it all back together.
Hmm.
So that was something valuable I learned, was
Mhm.
learning how to break a problem down and learn it in small pieces, but take the time and don't be impatient with yourself. That's a big thing. Don't be impatient
Okay.
with yourself, because just like growing like plants, it takes a while, or just like going to the gym and increasing your
Right.
strength, it
Right.
takes a while, and it's
Mhm.
not going to happen in 2 seconds.
Mhm.
You can't,
Mhm.
it's just not.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So it's a life lesson. I feel like all of it's a life lesson, just in a
Yeah,
microcosm.
sure. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Now, you and your boyfriend live about 45 minutes outside of Madison.
Yep.
So, how many times a week are you coming into town to the city for lessons?
Twice a week.
Twice a week.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this your full time job?
This is my part-time job, and then I do odd jobs also.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, I think
sometimes
Terry
I
mentioned that you and you.
bartend.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Sometimes I house sit. Sometimes I pet sit. Yeah.
Oh, that's well. I think I posted about the Bar Latigro, which is it was
Oh
your
yes,
birthday that we went to,
yes,
but you used to work there at some point, right?
yes. I used to work there on Mondays when they were open more days of the week.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what haven't we talked about? So when you're not here or bartending or doing all, what do you do for fun? And you have a sister that lives here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I am trying to get better at accomplishing projects or completing projects that I've started. So I have a lot of art projects, some metalworking, some jewelry, some
Oh,
fabric, some leather,
oh my gosh,
and
that's a lot of
musical
mediums.
projects, and yes.
So are you a self-taught artist?
I have taken some art classes,
Okay.
and so most of it I can figure out. It's just putting the time
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
and being focused and
There's
getting
so many
the tools
distractions.
together and things like that. So in the spring, I will be setting up a metalworking studio in my garage for blacksmithing,
Oh
which I've done
wow.
some of along over many years, and so that's really fun for me. But I'm not great at it. I just really like doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like I try to take the advice that I give my students, which is when you come across like a hard spot, you break it down and just do one little thing at a time because I know that's how you get things done.
Yeah, little pieces.
So little pieces at a time.
Yeah.
I wanted to say one thing about teaching, and it's hard to exactly quantify it, but I feel like what I'm also doing when I'm teaching, I really try to validate um, a person and their feelings, whatever age, and and kind of nurture that playing music can help you throughout your life emotionally as well. Because I feel like it's really helped me, be able to express myself,
Hmm.
um, and have a place for my art,
Mhm.
and it's a healing thing. So
Hmm.
when students are here, I do try to validate them as a person and make it a space of nurturing who they are on top of learning an
Hmm.
instrument. So I just wanted to
Yeah,
add
no,
that.
I think that's really important. Thank you
Yeah.
for and thanks for your attentiveness to
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Um,
So we got a couple minutes before you have a student. Yeah. So let's talk about Madison. So
mm,
you came to Madison with your parents?
yep.
Okay.
When I was about 14.
Okay. And and you stayed all this
Yes.
time. So what is it about well, you're not living in Madison now, but you're on the outskirts?
Yep.
Yeah. What is it about Wisconsin? What keeps you here?
Um. Well, the East Side neighborhood in Madison is a really like sort of a comfortable place for me to be, with a lot of fun musical events and like live music is a important thing with all the festivals and
There's even just tonight when I looked to see what was going on tonight,
was
tomorrow,
there
and
like a
Saturday,
million
Sunday, I'm
things?
like, how do you
Yeah,
choose where to go?
and a lot of it is free, which is
Mhm.
really
Mhm.
wild.
Mhm.
And I I have a lot of friends and a good support network here, and that's why I stayed.
Mm.
I feel like good people are drawn to this area for some reason,
Mm.
and I do believe that has something to do with the Indian mounds and the lakes. There is a sacred energy here, I believe, and I think that that has something to do with the community that has been built, and it's like all around the lakes there are Indian mounds.
Mm.
So
Those are called effigies, is that right?
effigy mounds,
Yeah. Mhm. Well, I
yeah,
don't know that I knew that about this area. Oh,
yes, it's
okay.
amazing. Yes,
Hmm.
there's Circle Park near the Viola Zoo, and
Okay.
it's a big round, and it might be a bear. I'm
Okay.
not remembering.
Mhm.
There's a lizard within a mile from here.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Oh,
there's a lot.
interesting. I didn't know that.
And there's a lot of concern for nature and
Yeah. Yeah.
preserving
Yeah.
nature. Although the lakes have not been cared for the way they should have, I think that they're finally doing something about that. Because there's a whole lakes project.
Okay.
With the university here, there are a lot of programs for um, like there's prairie restoration and things like that. And I really believe that we absolutely must take care of nature for us to have any sort of longevity.
Mhm. To endure. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So being able to walk to the grocery store and the pharmacy and those types of things is like really nice. I think every neighborhood should have that option. Unfortunately, Madison is becoming more dangerous than it used to be. Like when I was growing up, I could walk around at night and not feel concerned
Mm.
as long as I like was being watchful.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's as safe as it used to be, which is really too bad.
Mm.
But yeah, I do like the community oriented nature of Madison very much.
Hmm.
And
And there's so much going on. So, for example, with all this music going on right now, I can't. I know James is playing
oh
tonight
wow.
at the. I love this. I called it the Knuckle Down, aka the Red Rooster, and someone said, "Wow, it's like you're a Madisonian." um, how do you choose, or do you like go to one bar or one venue and listen, or do you like you and your friends go to like multiple places? Like,
Well, it depends on what's going on. Like on a gallery night, like there might be like a bunch of things
yeah,
happening. You really have to organize your
yeah,
time.
yeah, you do. But in my tiny town, right, it's gallery night. You park your car and you just walk, and it's like 6 blocks, and you're at the But here, you can do that, but then you got to get in your car. Then you go to State Street, and then yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's great to have so many options.
yeah.
Definitely, it's really a bummer when you have maybe like, so I might have friends in a couple bands and both bands are playing on the same night. Like, oh no.
Well, what haven't we talked about? Anything else you'd like to share about what you do here in Red Door or
Um,
outside of Red Door?
One of my future projects,
Mm-hmm.
I can mention because it's music related, is that I'd really like to make a healing album with cello and singing bowls, crystal singing
Mm-hmm.
bowls,
Mm-hmm.
and um, uh, flute and some meditation sort of thing. And I hope to put it on YouTube for people to listen to it for free. Uh, for people who are in hospitals. This is something I thought of deeply about when COVID happened because people were stuck in hospitals without their families, and I really believe that music can raise your vibration and be a healing thing if you get your vibration out of a mucky place.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Then you yourself are healing your own on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So I I would love to get this project going, and we'll let you know.
Yeah. Are you
If I
thinking
get
like
it out
within
there.
this year or a couple years or?
I had some things come up this year which have been very time consuming, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Already.
hoping in the next couple years. Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Oh, great.
And there's so many musicians in Madison that I was hoping that maybe it would become something that could be like offered in various communities at community rooms,
Mm-hmm.
maybe senior centers,
Mm-hmm.
places where like maybe people. I would also hope the hospital, but
Mm-hmm.
with COVID, it's like
Yeah.
sometimes not safe to
Yeah. Yeah.
bring people into a place, but at least make it available so on earbuds you can just
That
like.
sounds lovely. Wow, that's a really beautiful goal. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my hope.
Aw,
So
sweet. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing with
oh
me. This
yes,
has been
thanks for
really
the
fun
interview.
to,
Thanks for thinking of
yeah.
me.
Yeah, well, thanks for all the care you give to your students.
I do my best.
Thank you, Angela.
Yep.